Welcome to Tea Time with the Mole, the history podcast where we dig deep into the past, one story at a time. I'm Rachel, and each episode I'll be sitting down with my dad, El Topo, cave and tunnel guide, to unearth the hidden tales, understand important events, and remember the people that shaped our Gibraltar. From military mystery to moments in history, we're here to shine a light on the stories buried beneath the surface. So grab a cup of tea, get comfy, and let's start digging. Hi Dad, welcome back to your own podcast. So today we're at the tunnels, the World War II Experience, otherwise known as Hayes Level. You're going to take us through a little private tour of the area today, show us what's what.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, it's nice and quiet in here.
Yes.
So hopefully volume's all good,
Yeah.
hopefully no noise complaints today from the listeners.
Well, I've turned all the TVs off, so as you go through there should be no external noise for us.
Okay, you can explain to them what they might find if they come up in person.
Excellent, come on then.
Let's go.
Okay, so just as we're moving in, you should know that as you come in the gate you can see straight down the road. That wouldn't have been like that in World War II. There was a big wall across there to stop any blast getting down there should a bomb
Blast
drop
trap.
in there. Absolutely.
As you've mentioned in previous podcasts.
That's right. So where the ticket office sits is one of the pockets for the blast trap. This behind the helmet rack is another pocket of the blast trap. So again, it's all about dissipating that payload and not allowing all that blast to interfere with what's going on underground.
Okay.
But come on in.
And there's some great photos showing the work.
That's right, yeah. There are some videos that we run that cover this as well.
Am I right in thinking that a lot of the land, the rubble stuff that they pulled from the tunnel was used to build the runway?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
To extend the runway and to build the aprons for the aircraft.
Proud of myself.
Yeah. Well, that's the picture, the second picture there.
Yeah, that's
You
what
can see-
made me remember.
You can see them working down on the airfield. That's bulldozing rubble in to level it for the runway.
So which way are we going?
We're going to go in here first.
Okay, Spitfire Hall.
Yes. Now this is an old chambers for fixing vehicles. So World War II, this would have been where vehicles from the upper rock were brought in for repair work. And you can see today we've got a bit of a mist hanging down the bottom there because it's been blowing Levante for a couple of days. And that mist blows in. You'll see it more when we get further into the tunnels. It does give us this wetness inside, but it's not a showstopper.
No, it's something that can't be avoided really, and I suppose what else to expect. So we have the fantastic Spitfire hanging here. Correct me if I'm wrong. So they used to fly these out of here? How did that work?
Now this, you'd be amazed how many people come in and go away talking about these aircraft that were made underground. This is a total replica, a complete one-to-one scale replica of the first Supermarine Spitfire bought by the people of Gibraltar during World War II. Okay, because the government petitioned all towns and cities, not just in Britain, but across the wider Commonwealth, and said if you can raise £5,000, I think it's £5,300, something like that, if you can raise that money and pay it in to the ministry that deals with war aviation, we will name an aircraft in the name of your town. We will give you a plaque for the city wall and a certificate of thanks for the government office. And we'll emblazon the name of your town or your city on the side of that aircraft. And this is the first one to be bought by the people of Gibraltar. So it's a Mark IIA Spitfire, an early one. And this one was serving in England. It didn't see service in Britain. It served with 3 different squadrons. The first one being where it says SZP on the side. That is Trinidad Squadron.
I'm looking for where it says Gibraltar, but I've just seen it there, above the wing. Okay.
And then it moved from Trinidad Squadron. It was ground damaged. They moved on, and when it was fixed, it went to Hyderabad Squadron, which meant the code on the side changed from SZP to UMJ. And then when it was getting a bit older and more dated, it became a training aircraft, so it moved to Scotland into what's called an OTU, or an operational training unit. So pilots that needed to learn would use it for that, and that's where it came to its end.
Okay.
It was crashed in Scotland. Now, when this building was a workshops, from about the tape back was a double-storey building. The top floor was office space and the bottom floor was stores. And then along these two side walls where we're standing were where all the workbenches were for the mechanics. And in the middle were a series of pits, inspection pits for getting underneath vehicles and working. And then just there in the corner under the tail of the aircraft was where the forge was for the blacksmith, or the smithy. And you can see above the tail, you can see the flue going out onto the upper rock. So that's where all the heat and the smoke from the furnace would vented out onto the upper rock.
Okay, I've never noticed that before.
It's a fantastic space. And we came to listen to one of the shows that was put on very recently, and the acoustics in here are superb.
So we're heading down this way, Edge of War?
That's right, we're going into what we call the strategy room. The strategy room in a previous life was a loading area for stores, because all this area was about storage of equipment, keeping it safe from bombardment and what have you. And this is where the ramp is there, so you can easily access, load and unload equipment. Some of the things you see in the wall as you come through, as I say, I'm constantly fascinated by the graffiti. I've never done anything like graffiti in my time in the army, never ever put my name in a wall anywhere. But as you walk through here, you'll see people's names, unit names, addresses of where people are from. It's fascinating. It's like a massive 3D jigsaw that tells you where the people that dug this system came from. Now, these newspaper clippings you can see on the wall as we go through, this is the main tabloids and newspaper headlines in the lead up to war. This is why we call it the Edge of War. This is where tensions are rising. Neville Chamberlain, British Prime Minister, goes over to Germany to speak to Adolf Hitler to try and prevent war from occurring. And he believes he has. He comes back waving his piece of white paper and saying peace in our time and all that, and in no time at all we're at war against them. So it's just that build-up. It's explaining to you that peace was expected. As you can see, that's him flying across to see Hitler.
So as we come into here, you've got the, what's this, the cooker?
It is. You may remember them from the Great North Road. Remember the kitchens in the Great North Road? They used to be in there, but a couple had been vandalised.
Oh, of course, yes.
And destroyed. Well, we took two out and restored about 20 years ago. And they've made their way about the place and either haven't been wanted where they were or what have you, but we managed to get this one back from the Gibraltar Heritage Trust. A little bit of work, just a bit of TLC, and then set it up to look like it's working.
It looks fabulous.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, well done to the
I
team.
like it. Thank you.
You're going to turn that off now? Okay. And in this area, people can listen to Churchill's speech.
Not Churchill. This covers Neville Chamberlain's speech at the outbreak of war.
Sorry, yeah.
And it shows that build-up into war. So it shows two opposing forces amassing. And it also shows, which I'm really happy it does, it shows the efforts at home. It shows the women in the factories producing ammunition and metal for tanks and things. Because we get very male-centric when we talk about war. And when you think about it, the women at home were putting in 8-hour and sometimes 12-hour shifts in the factories, working and then going home and sorting out the family. So it's part of the story that needs to be told.
Yeah.
And it's nice that it's there to do that.
This is why I thought it was Churchill, because he's right here.
Ah, right. Well, this is what the best part of my job is, the restoration work. Looking at these things, putting them back together and restoring for public display. The rack you can see that they're in at the top there, that's original, apart from the two hooks there, because that was there from World War II or before, and it had rotted away somewhat, so I restored one side of it and then added the two other pieces. That's why they're a different colour, because I don't want people to think that it's all original when I've added things. So I've made sure they stayed a different colour for that reason.
Okay, but that's impressive that it's you know, stayed as
in that kind of condition. Yeah. Yes, I agree.
Okay.
And do you like my sniper rifle at the bottom?
Did you want to tell me anything about the sniper rifle? It means nothing to me otherwise.
Well, it's wrapped so there's no shiny pieces on it. And that's what you do with your weapon if you're moving through undercover.
Okay.
And camouflage yourself to the maximum as a sniper.
Yeah.
So everything is, is covered to match its surroundings.
That makes sense, yeah.
Still the same weapon, but it looks a lot different.
Yeah.
Now in here, this board on this side shows you, it really does show the importance of Gibraltar when you see those arrows at the top there coming through the straits. That really does highlight how important the Straits of Gibraltar and Gibraltar guarding those straits was. And this wall covers 4 different missions. Oh, sorry, I should say 4 different operations in World War II. 2 happened, 2 never. So Operation Torch covers the North Africa landings. We know that happened. Operation Tracer was a secret observation post. It never happened. It was a 6-man operational team that were ready to be deployed.
Stay behind cave.
That's the one.
Yeah.
But it never happened. Everything was in place, but it was called off. Operation Felix was Hitler's planned invasion of Gibraltar. So again, we cover some of that, so people know that these plans were in place. So all these defences that we're doing is justified, because we know we're facing a potential attack. And Operation Catapult, probably one of the biggest debacles of World War II. This is where we killed 1,000 Allied sailors, French sailors, at the start of World War II in Mers el Kabir. In fairness, Churchill had an impossible decision to make, because these ships were most likely going to fall into the hands of the Nazis. And we'd given 4 deadlines for them to get in. When they missed the 4th deadline, that's when he ordered the sinking of them. And we killed 1,000 French sailors. Big knock-on effect for Gibraltar, because Gibraltar was bombed in retaliation for that.
Okay.
The radio just covers music of the time, which is really nice. The only thing with it, I come home singing the same song every night, because it's the last thing I hear before I leave work.
What is it?
It's just World War II music. You get run rabbit, run rabbit, run. It gets stuck in the back of my head, and all I can sing when I'm going down on the bike is that. Okay.
What's on this side before we move on?
The phones. That's just a little bit of interactive for the youngers. So each phone has the same message on it, but when you pick them up, it's a BBC announcement about the appointment of Noel Mason McFarlane, or Demolition Mac, as the commander into Gibraltar. And the ones in the cases are just phones of the era. They're not interactive, obviously, they're just out there to display, so people get to see the kind of things that were in use in that day.
Okay. And again, they're in really good condition.
Thank you.
Really spectacular to look at, like. Really spectacular to look at.
Yeah, there are some nice examples. It's a constant trying to keep them clean and trying to save them from the elements. Because even in here, we're getting that Levant comes through, and you can see everything gets a coating. Every night, everything, you can feel it wet to the touch. So it takes a lot of maintenance to keep it, as it should be. This little area concentrates more on the tunnelling aspect of what went on. So the little TV here shows dry drilling, which the Brits were doing, and soldiers at work. Later in it, it moves into when the Canadians joined the war effort and started with the diamond tip drills, and they taught the diamond drilling to the Brits. So not only do you have an array of diamond tip drills up there, it shows you them in use on the video, so you get the full picture.
Peak tunneling speed, 54 meters per week. That is faster than they did Kingsway. In case anyone needs a comparison.
It's a lot faster than the Kingsway.
So what we're looking at?
So this is a schematic that covers the tunnels, the whole tunnel complex in Gib, in both plan view and inside elevation. So you can see the different levels of tunnel inside. The white tunnels that you can see on there are ones dug out prior to World War II. The yellow ones are all World War II, and there are some blue lines in there, which are a little bit more difficult to pick out because of the backlighting. But they are there, and they're the post-war tunnels. And this is where you start to realise just how happy your mother was when I started to work up here. Because most of this stuff was under beds, in cupboards, in that spare room that has recently been sorted out by your sister. This is the kind of thing that's been brought up for display.
So we've got the miner's pickaxe. And this is like legit from World War II?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got part of the Ottawa Chamber?
Yes, that for years was laid in WWII Tunnel. I'd ridden past it and then ran past it in 1992 so many times when I was marathon training. And when this place was first opened for tourism, I went down with the car, picked it up and brought it down for it to be cleaned and displayed. Because again, it was just going to be lost. It had been thrown away. And it shows a bit of, at least it talks, or it explains in some way, the Canadian efforts that were going on. So Ottawa, the chamber's dug down there by the Canadians. We always have a bit of work to do in here. There's always things to sort out.
Okay.
And these are just examples of some of the drills. Both of these drills are actually post-war. But that red one there is a Chicago pneumatic. It's hardly changed. It's still produced today, and it's hardly changed since World War II in the manufacture. They've changed the bushers in it to rubber from spring, and that's about it. The same drill's in use today. But the reason I wanted to include it is because of this lady here, who was a poster girl for the company, for Chicago Pneumatic. Her name was Naomi Parker Fraley, and she was a very pretty young girl. They wanted somebody to front the company on PR shots or whatever.
She looks very strong.
Exactly that. And they called her Rosie the Riveter, and she became the poster girl of the company. And through World War II, she was, you know, one of those iconic figures.
Faces, yeah.
Yeah. This here, I took out the tunnels with Mark Cooper a number of years ago. This area was getting totally blocked off in the south, and that would have been, it would have rotted off a wall and just turned to dust in the back. So Mark helped me take that down, and we brought it up for the people that were using this place at the time. It's nice to have some sort of control on it now, and we're able to stay with the program of keeping it clean and displayed.
Yeah.
That lovely breeze you get as you move through here.
Making me think I should have brought a hoodie.
We call this area here the Hallway of Heroes. So all these plaques you can see on the wall, these are people that are relevant to Gibraltar's military history. Some of them lost their life here, others were very prolific in what they did here. So we try to commemorate them in some way. And if the person actually died in service here during conflict, we bring out a poppy wreath a week before the date of death to a week after the date of death, and it's attached. So we commemorate and we honour the fallen.
That's
You'll
great.
see we have one out at the moment for, I think it's General Sikorsky's time for the wreath. And then we're into the Sapper's Suite.
Okay.
Sappers, you know what a sapper is, don't you?
Oh, you've told me before, I can't remember.
Royal Engineer, soldier.
Right, yeah.
So when I joined the army, I joined the Royal Artillery. I was a gunner. if you join the Royal Engineers, you're a sapper. Now, it doesn't matter what rank you reach in the Royal Engineers, you're always a sapper. I think it's great that they always remember that. And that's the timeline of the Royal Engineers from their inception all the way through to 1942. It would be wrong not to give a mention to the Royal Canadian Engineers, because they were here assisting and did a lot of work here in both the South and the North District. So you can see Ottawa Chamber on the bottom of that list there. So that's some of the areas that the Canadians are working. Not all the areas, just some of the areas that they were working in. All this equipment here was rusted and painted over in a real state. And it's taken me the best part, I'd say 6 months, to get through this lot, to get it stripped down, treated, and put out like it's worthy, for me, it's worthy of seeing. So you can see like this drill here, the Atlas Copco. The Thor, sorry, that's the Atlas Copco in the corner. All these, they're made in North Tyneside. And that's a post-war drill, but it's very similar to what was being used at the time, and we never stopped drilling in here. You know, we're still working in the tunnels up to the 60s, so I think it's important that we show that. I only put this in yesterday. This is the tar kettle.
So it's new and interesting. Tell us about it. What's a tar kettle? What's it do?
Well, these things, we don't know where this one's from. There are no markings on it to suggest who provided it. It could be a British company, but by the same token, it could be an American company, because they produced a lot of tar kettles in America, which, as you can see on the sign there.
In Cincinnati.
But the idea is that all the Nissen huts that were underground, they're corrugated tin. Now, when the water percolates through onto corrugated tin, the acidic content of the water, having passed through lime, burns holes in it. Doesn't last any time at all. So they would bitumen coat the outside of the Nissen huts, and this is what they'd use for heating the tar in. Hence the chimney to take the smell off the top of it and take the heat off it, and that's what you'd operate from.
That must have been quite toxic to be breathing in.
Yeah.
Okay. Times have changed.
They have.
This is a fabulous bike here.
It is. I've made Phil an offer for it, the owner, but he doesn't want to sell me it, which I think your mum will be happy with that. But this is a BSA M20. It's an original, 1942, and Phil, the owner, has had it since he was 16 years old. It's a beautiful example, and I do have it does raise a lot of questions for those that are semi in the know, because we call this a sapper's suite, but it's a Royal Signals motorcycle, so why is there a Royal Signals motorcycle in the sapper's suite? Well, the Royal Signals weren't formed until 1920, but they were formed from the Royal Engineers.
Okay.
So it makes sense to fit it in by World War II. You can actually see the guy here is a Royal Engineer who's working on the bike. Now, in 1942, the REME, the Royal Electrical and Mechanical Engineers, are formed, and they come on and take these kind of roles off the engineers so they can concentrate on battlefield work, you know, and producing airfields and things like that. They can get back to core tasking, and the smaller tasks go out to different units. Equally as important, but we need to diversify. And you'll probably remember all this lot from my man cave.
All the coats of arms?
Yeah, all the plaques, military plaques. We've had some gifted to us quite recently by the governor, which is very kind of him, but the majority of them have come from battlefield studies that I've done over the last few years. Well, I say few years, over the last 30 years.
Yeah, they were taking up a lot of space, weren't they? It's nice that they can be admired here as well, and people can look at them and maybe even recognise some from their own time. Yeah,
it does draw people to send plaques in. This is the Royal Engineers. This side alone is just Royal Engineer units.
Okay.
For the Sappers Suite, and we've had, since I put them up, we've had 3 donations there to add to it.
Oh, that's great. It's very nice. It's a nice touch.
Yeah.
Much better than in the man cave.
Now this room is quite touching. This is it's the evacuation room. So this is all to do with the evacuation of the civil population of Gibraltar. It explains how the first 900 people were given 24 hours to put specific items in a suitcase, which you'll see listed here, and to get down to the dockyard where they were taken to French Morocco to get them off the rock. Now we evacuated somewhere in the region of 16,000 people from Gibraltar, which had to happen because we had 16,500 service personnel coming in, and they needed somewhere to operate from. But the manner in which it was done has had a massive effect on Gibraltar over the years.
Yeah.
You know.
So we evacuated 950 people, you say, to French Morocco,
Yeah.
and then we had that incident where Churchill said, you know, we're going to have to sink
those
these
ships.
French ships, and then obviously that's had a knock-on effect, and those Gibraltarians were not welcome in French Morocco anymore. That's right.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, they were more or less frog marched back down to the quayside, and Admiral Cretan, who was in that port at the time, British Admiral, he'd been ordered, do not pick up useless mouths, as they were termed. And he saw beyond that, the human came out in him, and he disobeyed that direct order and put them all on his ships and brought them back into the bay. When he got into the bay, the governor here wouldn't let him off the ships because he thought that if he let them back onto the rock, they'd never leave again. So there was almost civil unrest in town from those that remained serving here, until he relented and let them off on the grounds that when he found them somewhere to go, they would go. So then he started shipping people to London, into the Blitz.
So I'm just having a look here at the extracts from Lourdes Pitaluga's
Yes.
memoirs, and
Yes.
you've got here like the list of articles they had to take with them.
That they were allowed to take with them.
Well, oh, so they didn't have to, but okay. So obviously they had to have their ID cards. It says here that mattress, pillow, blankets, plates, knives, forks, spoons, cups.
Yeah.
Just
Basics.
like everything. 1 or 2 cooking pots and pans per family. I mean,
Yeah.
it gives me a, you know, sort of everything but the kitchen sink.
It just shows you just how people were torn away from their houses, torn away from home with nothing. So we use a lot of Lourdes' book as we move through it. It's like you'll see the standout pieces with the yellow background are all extracts from Lourdes' book.
Yeah, this would be a fantastic visit even for the local population who maybe haven't come up, and it's just good education, isn't it? It's good to know where you came from and what our people
Yeah, we've had
lived through.
we've had some really strong positive feedback from what's in here, and other people coming forward with more information, and you can see how the families were shipped off. This here shows you where they went.
Yeah.
So people did go to Spain. Those that had family across the other side went to Spain. Others went to Madeira if they could afford to. Morocco and Jamaica. I mean, Jamaica.
So far away.
Well, it sounds idyllic that I'm going to Jamaica, but it's the other side of the North Atlantic, which is full of submarines trying to sink Allied ships.
Yeah.
And when they get there, they're not welcomed into a community. They're put in an internment camp. And they appoint senior Gibraltarians from the group to become the wardens of that camp. So they weren't allowed just to be themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a fun thought, is it?
No. Most of these are Northern Ireland. This is the repatriation, but it shows just how these posters, how they're trying to convince governments to get them home, to let them go back. And more when you think some of these people were away for 11 years from their homes. If you left home at 10 years old, you're 21 before you get in home. And if you were 16 when you left home, your life's already started. You're already a fully blown adult, and your life's on hold. So a lot of people couldn't wait for that and press reset in London or in Northern Ireland. So there was a real knock-on effect for the Gibraltarians.
So So we're moving through into the espionage room. This is just like a little bit of fun for the kids, I guess. Or
Well, the first bit's the serious side. This is where we talk about some of the more clandestine operations. So that's why you've got the Morse code on the walls as you come in. And I say all the younger generation want to know what's top secret, which is why we've done these. So it's slightly interactive. You can lift these up and have a read and find out a little bit about what was going on in Gibraltar at that time.
can we do one for fun?
You can do more than one for fun if you like.
So top secret, with a young daughter to protect. You've got your young daughters here with you today. Okay. Larissa Swirsky
Yes.
became a double agent during World War II and enlisted the help of her child Liana. Larissa would go on to be given the code name of Queen of Hearts.
And this is her.
Very nice. Oh, okay, so we've got a nice photo of us. Very beautiful woman. Oh, I can see why they called her the Queen of Hearts. All right.
Apparently she used to party with Coco Chanel and used to wear the old long gloves and the cigarette in the long holder.
So she's a bit of a socialite and sort of used that to
as a
her
cover.
advantage.
Yeah.
Amazing.
David Sher, his daughter Jennifer, she come back. She's been back a number of times actually to see what we've done in here, and she talks to us about her dad's time. And he's in both photographs in here, so it's nice to have that link back for people.
Everyone's so beautiful in Serpio. I feel like we should go back to this colour lens.
And this, as you know, is close to my heart, the Operation Tracer Cave.
Yeah.
Because I searched for this for years, on and off. I never found it. And it was discovered by the Gibraltar Caving Group.
Okay.
But I did get to go back and interview this guy, Dr. Bruce Cooper. I don't know if you remember when I went across the UK. He did fill us in on a lot of the blanks for this area. And he was such an interesting guy. But we've tried to get the interactivity with this as well, because the floor inside here was made with cork tiles. So if you're hidden away inside, you're trying to hide, and you're walking across tiles, the clatter would be horrendous. So it was all cork, so you couldn't hear the feet. And the bicycles that you would get a bit of exercise by cycling, but that was to power the batteries for the radio, had a leather chain on it. So you didn't have metal on metal. So what we've done here is, for the kids, you can hear what a ceramic tile sounds like. You can hear what a cork tile sounds like. Or the metal chain, or the leather chain.
Okay,
so you have an idea about soundproofing.
This is quite new, no? This
Yes.
diagram, but I really like it. I think it's a fabulous illustration, because I think a lot of people, we do wonder, what the hell is down there? What's it look like? We're not allowed in.
Yeah.
So was it set up when it was found?
No, the bikes were in, and on the stairs just here behind the radio room, there is an extract fan for the toilets, which again was a bicycle frame but with handles rather than pedals. And that just, so you have extract fan that ran up through this area here.
I love this diagram, because I think I've always just thought they were just expected to stay in basically a hole. Like how? What was there? But actually, they've made it look a little bit better than some modern apartments.
Well, this is the way in, and this is what you're going to be bricked in, and then this corrugated tin put across the top. And this is your embalming area should anybody die. That's where the bodies are going to be treated and left.
So they thought about everything.
Oh yes, yeah, very much so.
Incredible. All right. Should we move along?
Yeah, let's. You should know that as we come around here that Ian Fleming, that wrote the Bond series, he was Defence Naval Intelligence, and he served in Gibraltar. A lot of his ideas for his books that later became the Bond series of films comes from his service here. In fact, he was involved in this, Operation GoldenEye, even before the film or the book GoldenEye.
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
And I feel like that should be better known, that Ian Fleming served here.
He was, I'd say, was key to the training of people for Operation Tracer. He was involved in many operations here. He was, one thing I didn't know about him is how young he died. He was 56 when he died. I didn't realise that.
So he lived a very rich life, and you know, the amount of books he wrote, that's incredible. It doesn't say how many in total. I was hoping maybe it would say somewhere, because I don't know.
Somebody carried on the legacy, didn't there? There's been so many films done after his passing.
Okay.
Now then, this is where we get into the youth bit. This is called Spy Academy, and we have certain bits in here for a bit of interactivity for the younger generation. So the first thing you get is about observation. So we've got a spot the difference.
Yep.
And it's simple enough. There's just certain differences in there that the kids can look at and pick up on, and the answers are in the two. I prefer this one. This is a little bit more interactive, where the little red button, you push the red button and it throws the light behind the picture. That light's on for 10 seconds for you to observe what's on that picture. You take in all the information you can and store it, and when the light goes out, you can then open the question.
Can we do one for fun?
I think you should.
Yeah? Yeah. Ooh, right. Okay.
So it's not on for that long, so you've got to take in that.
Alright, okay, let's see.
And then you open your question, which is?
How many people are in the horse-drawn carriage? There was 2 in it and 2 out of it. There's 2.
Check you out.
Yeah, I did this one on the first take.
Right. And these, you can see we've got one broken at the moment. But these are to, again, for the kids to understand when they come in, that if you're having a secret observation post, you can't run the electric cables down into it, because the enemy will just follow that cable where it's going and find out what the source of the drain is. So by putting your own generators in, you can produce your own electric. If you want to give it a wind, do you think you can do it?
We've got through this week in Gib without a power cable, but we might need a couple of these.
That's it.
Wings high. Speed hostile, but we hold course, awaiting your reply.
So it's just showing people that you can have light, you can have radio, but you need to generate your own power for it.
Might be the way forward, Gibraltar.
One in each house. And once you've done those 3 activities and you get to here, the idea is you spin the wheel.
Okay. Are you going to do it? I'll do it. We'll get our spy names.
You do it.
Come on. For fun. Oh, caliper, okay. And I'm pickaxe.
And the idea was that you can share your spy name on socials.
All right, we'll share ours. Calpe and Pickaxe, the ultimate team.
This here, a lot of the school parties that have come in have taken this idea away, because you can read 2 ways on.
Yeah.
So you'll know what it says the other way on.
Oh yeah, it's loose lips sink ships. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
There's your final message.
Okay. Good luck, Agent.
Excellent. We have more here on the...
Let Georgina catch up.
We have more here on the life stories on the Hallway of Heroes. And again, I was lucky enough to meet this gentleman. He's no longer with us, sadly.
I recognise this book.
Yeah.
Sits on the table in your living room, like most.
It's quite a lot. It does.
Yeah, most of our lifetime. Yeah.
It's quite often out that book. And then we come into the Gunners Gallery. I love this room. Having spent a great portion of my life in the Royal Artillery, this room for me.
Did we use this as an umbrella stand?
Yes.
I thought I recognised it. Okay. Well, again, something Mum's glad to get out of the house.
Yes, yeah. And that one?
I didn't recognise that
was
one.
in the house.
There'd be some small umbrellas in that, just the cocktail ones.
That's the cleaning brush for O'Hara's battery.
Okay. How did you come across that?
It was... They weren't displaying it at the top anymore. So they sent it down to a 6-inch gun at this end of the rock, but it's a 9.2-inch barrel brush.
Okay.
So it made no sense to have it in a 6-inch gun. So I've brought it, restored it, and put it in here.
Okay.
But as I say, for the interested person, you can come in and there's a lot of information you can take away about Gibraltar and the artillery in general from this room. These are the ones that are close to my heart, these last 4, because these are all things that I worked with as a gunner when I first joined the army. And we might recognise some of the bits from the house.
I recognise this from, yeah, you worked on this to like do it up, I remember. This one was never in the house.
No, no. This is the Bren gun.
Okay, what's a Bren gun? What's it do?
Well, a Bren gun is an area weapon for a section of soldiers. We've got 8 soldiers in a section. 7 of them will have rifles, and 1 will have a Bren gun. It's a machine gun. And we no longer have these. We now have the general purpose machine gun because this was far too accurate. Well, there's lots of interesting stuff about it. I loved this gun when I was serving, and we were still using this till 1988 in Northern Ireland. But it's very accurate. It doesn't have a wide cone of fire, which for a machine gun in a section, you want a massive spread. You want to hit more people at distance, so the GPMG wins that war. But the name Bren is the interesting thing about it, because people see it and immediately think it's a British machine gun, which I suppose you can say it is, but it's from Czechoslovakia.
Okay.
They used to be made in Brno, in Czechoslovakia. We wanted it to fire the same bullets that we fire in our rifle for service in World War II, the 303. So they work with us and they reinvent the mechanism to take our ammunition, and we can fire 30 at a time in automatic fire from the magazine on top. Once they've done that, we say, okay, we're happy with it, we'd like to buy the license. They sell us the license to produce this gun in Enfield. So EN is Enfield, so BR is Brno, EN is Enfield. So the Bren gun is a mixture of the 2 towns that comes from. Useless information you'll never need again, but that's where it gets its name from.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little collaboration.
Yeah.
So what are we looking at? Are we going to look here, or?
You can have a look inside. That's what it's there for. These are just accoutrements and interesting bits that have been donated. You can see the commission for an officer there, I believe. Is that an Alcantara, or is it Joe?
Yeah, it's John Ernest Alcantara.
Okay. These are all donated items, and you might recognise those as well, because I brought them in.
Just some cap badges and
yeah,
arm badges. I don't know what you call them.
Yeah. They're just the uniform accoutrements.
Okay.
You might remember that as well.
I do remember that. Your mum, my grandma, cross-stitched that.
Yeah, she made it for me in 1992. But now it's got somewhere to live forever.
So detailed. Yeah, fabulous. So grandma's work is. She's named. That's lovely.
Yeah. We've tried to do that with everything that people have given. They've been
I noticed that you get your full name here as well, Peter.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I have noticed actually, yeah. Occasionally changes to Pete, but...
And most of this is from Gail, my colleague that works with us, Gail Francis Tillon. Mm-hmm. This was her father's uniform and his commission as an officer, his medal, and his bits from home. A few other add-ons in there, like somewhere to put the air raid siren. It's not that he was operating it, it's just that we need somewhere to put it, because when I first put it out on display, the tourists were winding the handle and you could hear it down in Moorish Castle, so we had to put it under.
That's fair enough. And that was donated by a local...
Micro Business Systems.
They just
remember
found
it was all red and...
Yeah. It's all in such fabulous condition. Well done to everyone for maintaining it. It's really, really amazing.
This is Joe. This is Gail's father.
Okay.
He was no longer with us, sadly. Passed away quite recently. And you can see my pay stick.
I remember that. Do you want to tell people what a pace stick is if they don't know?
Well,
Because not
we
everyone
call it a pace stick because we have to teach people how to walk when they join the army. But this is a gunner's stick, as it should be called, and it's for pacing distance between guns, so you've got accurate measurement. But they adapted it for all sorts, and they put the soldiers of the army march, normal line regiments, at a 30-inch pace. The light infantry march at a 28-inch pace because they march in double quick time. So it's called the LI pace. Now the women in the army march at a 21-inch pace because they wear a dress or a skirt, not trousers. So the stick is adjustable, so you can drill different soldiers at different paces.
Okay. And we're coming to the end of the tour now?
We're coming to all that we're going to cover for today. But we just have a look forward from here. Because we're going to come back and do Lidl's Union and Jock's Balcony. You can see very misty up there today and very wet. You get a real eerie feeling about it as you
Oh, I like it.
see.
It's a bit...
So that's us for today. That's Hayes Level.
We're fabulous. Do you have any closing thoughts? Anything you want to share before we...
Well, something we never talked about is why it's called Hayes Level, or do we?
Not today.
Well, I think we've covered it in we've probably covered it in previous podcasts. Yeah, so it's called Hayes Level after Lieutenant Colonel Robert Alistair Hay. He was a Royal Engineer officer in charge of one of the tunnelling companies through World War II, and he gets his name enshrined in the rock like many other officers throughout. And for those who haven't seen, we're going to do Lidl's Union named after another officer. We'll explain why when we get up there, and we'll try and do that. We'll try and give the proper reasoning for the name so people get an understanding of what's what.
Okay. So that's been Hayes Level.
That's it.
Amazing. Thank you so much. No tea today. Gutted because I thought you were bringing it. But next time, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dad. Thanks for listening to Tea Time with the Mole with me, Rachel Jackson, and my dad, Pete Jackson. We look forward to talking to you again next week.